forevermore as well. Welcome to everyone. I want to tell you that we've reached our legal maximum. Amen. We counted about 4 times, and right now I think we have 50. And according to our illustrious government's leadership, that's all we can have in here. So what we're going to do, if anybody else shows, is we have a couple people who volunteered to sit outside. We'll open the windows and they can hear out there, and there's a couple of others. So we want to obey these rules for obvious reasons, because I could think of nothing that would destroy me more than to have an outbreak in this church and people pass from it. So I want to be able to say that we've done what we're supposed to do. And so what are the rules? Well, if you're not living together with the person near you, then you're supposed to be 6 feet away from if you can't be socially distanced properly, you have to wear a mask. Otherwise, mask is, I guess, voluntary, right? And so we have we still got these things, we call hand sanitizers all over the place, so take advantage of that. So anyway, I'm glad you're all here. This is actually a small miracle when you think about it, that in the midst of social upheaval and a pandemic, people are still going to church in bigger numbers. But when you think about it, it makes sense, doesn't it? People are worried. And people who maybe before would think, well, I don't need God, everything's going fine, I don't need all that church stuff. They're starting to realize, maybe there's more to this existence. And it is true. That is true. And so I got a couple of announcements before we get into the message. First of all, just a reminder, we have a box over here for your offerings, and there's another one out in the fellowship hall. If you should feel led to give to this ministry to keep the bills paid. And for those of you who have been doing it through this difficult time, again, thank you for that. Another thing is we're having a cookout after church today. Maybe that's why we got so many people here. And it's kind of a going away thing for Quinn and his family, since their last Sunday will be next week. And I need you to understand how we're going to do this. It's very, very important now. And this will be enforced. Your food will be served to you. No one is going to be touching the ketchup bottle and all this other stuff, all these different people. The food will be spooned out to you. The burger, bun, and all of that will be put on your plate for you. And there's individual chip containers, little potato chip things, and there's individual water bottles. And we're going to have some people sitting in here, and anybody wants to sit outside, we can accommodate that too. And we do have a cop patrolling, so don't break the rules, all right? Seriously, though, this is important that we follow this. It really is. And it's also important that we get back to socializing, isn't it? Get back to doing some of this stuff that we all enjoy so much. And so you're all invited. There's hamburgers and hot dogs, and there's various salads, and I don't know what else, but I know we got way too much. So you'd probably be able to go back for seconds and thirds, Brian. Okay. So, is that it, Quinn? Anything else? Well, I do need to remind you that we do have our prayer meetings on Wednesdays at 5 o'clock. We have a Bible study and a prayer time. And Sunday morning, we have Sunday school 9:45. Like I said, next Sunday is Quinn and his family's last Sunday here. I assume you'll be here. Depending on how the packing is going. And we've got them a truck, or we got one to pick up, and someone to load it for them. They'll be out of here on the 22nd. Is that right? Okay. So be sure you give them some love before they leave, and air hugs, elbow hugs or whatever. So anyway, welcome. And we believe here at this church that every person who shows up in here is here for a reason. And I'm not all-knowing, so I don't know what reason God may have for you to be here today, but there is something. Something in the message, something in the worship, or just maybe something in the being with fellow believers. But what you have to do is be open. Your mind, your heart, open to whatever it is God might have to say to you today. And may He bless whatever we do today. I got a few things to say before we get into the message, but let's just get into it. like probably most of you, my mind has been unsettled lately with all the stuff that's going on, the unknowns, yes, I'll admit it, the fear. I fear for my country. I don't fear dying, but I just soon not get sick. And I'm seeing a lot of talk, hearing a lot of talk, and seeing a lot of evidence for what you can't call anything but a revolution. And that got me thinking, what can I do about it? About one thing, pray. And that's a powerful thing. And I'm doing loads of it. Another thing is vote, of course, but that's not what I'm talking about. I think what we need, and it's got to start with the church, we need a revolution of the heart. You and I can't change what's going on in Washington, D.C., other than to vote and pray. You and I can't affect the pandemic except for doing the social distancing and the mask thing, washing your hands. It's here. God knows it's here. It didn't surprise him. He's in charge of it. He's handling all of this. But what can we do, Christian? But what I'm going to say to you applies to non-believers too, at least to an extent. What is a revolution of the heart? The way the Lord shared this with me, it maybe sounds like something like this. That we, the church of the living God, forget about politics. Did you hear me? That we, the church, put politics aside, forget the personalities and the people running for offices. I'm not telling you not to go vote. You should go vote. But what I'm saying to you is we have a more important duty than to hawk our petty political differences. That politics would enter the church of Christ and cause division between believers is unbelievable, but it's happening. Let me tell you something. As your pastor, I don't care who you vote for. I'm a veteran. I participated and tried to prevent anybody from taking your rights away to vote any way you want. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm fed up with the garbage that I'm hearing and seeing on social media, the way people are. Let me ask you this question, and I won't rant. Do you want your